Hello, my name is Caden. This is Castle Tutelage, your home defense network. A couple of days ago, I got a reasonable question, and I like the questions that come in. I don't get that many because my channel isn't that huge, but I get maybe 2 to 5 questions a week. And this one subscriber, he has given a lot of good questions, and one of the questions is that he's getting a little bit of blowback from his family about having a CCW permit. And his question was simple: who do you tell in your family? I'm just going to be telling you my own experiences with it, and I really do believe that it depends on your family. If you know your father is CCW, or if your siblings are CCW, I wouldn't go telling nephews and cousins and uncles. I would really keep it close to the vest. Concealed really means concealed. Concealed means not broadcasting. That it's the opposite of open carry. And I am a strong believer. Just the family that I grew up with, I would never even consider telling a lot of the people because they are of a liberal mindset. I don't tell my mother. My mother knows that I own guns. She doesn't know that I CCW. My father, my stepfather, my aunts and uncles, my cousins. No. One of the questions was that he takes off the person who asked the question is he takes off his gun because his uncle knows that he CCWs. And from my perspective, I just don't do it. They have no business doing it. The people who do know, it's my wife and my 2 children. And that's really all who needs to know. I wouldn't go polling and kind of showing machismo or, a macho saying that I have a CCW. You really need to squash that feeling where you need to regurgitate that you have a CCW, because it really boils down to you really need to look at your own male machismo, if you want. It doesn't matter. The true CCW carrier, the true CCW carrier-minded person is not going to tell anybody because they're looking to be a little bit more boastful and broad. My wife, I have slowly, in the last 3 years or so, been taking my guns out of the safe and becoming a little bit more involved in it. So she is understanding about the gun. She's becoming a little bit more comfortable around them because, she's a California girl, and, California, they bash you in the head about only bad guys need guns, and why do you need a gun? Because it hurts people, and it protects people. It doesn't hurt people, it protects people. So I've been doing step-by-step, gradual steps with her, and I finally got her to have one of those C2 tasers where it shoots out the two projectiles within a 15-foot area. Fate of Destiny, she had a video where she tased herself. And if you want to look at a young woman who tased her ass, go look at the Fate of Destiny. It's the same taser. She's had it for, my wife has had it now for a little while. So that's one of those things. Now, the question that I sometimes will get, well, how do I get a spouse involved? Now, we're going to do the typical sexist thing where men is involved and they're trying to get their wife involved. And it doesn't necessarily goes the other way, except for one case. A friend of mine up in the San Francisco area where she would like a gun, but the husband is a little bit squirmish around him. So I don't know. I haven't heard back from her for a while, so it'd be interesting to know what that's going on. But we're just going to do the sexist thing and say that it's a male trying to get their female spouse involved in it. And the first thing that I really recommend is to buy your significant other a book called The Cornered Cat by Kathy Jackson. And it's really going to give a female perspective on how she identifies, because the women of the family is generally going to be the first responder to any kind of danger that they have out there. And it really correlates a lot. And um, my next video is going to be talking about who I watch on YouTube. And part of that is I do watch the Fate of Destiny stuff because of who she is. Not because she's a pretty young thing and she looks good with a gun, but I'm more interested in her perspective, okay? Now, the more perspectives that you have in life, the better you are able to negotiate your way through life. Now, another little subsection is I'm also a poker player. There are 4 main characteristics of poker players. There are 4 main styles. And, you know, there's a variation between those styles and how those people perceive you. That is what I really like in the psychology of the human psychology, is how other people's view you. Now, how poker players view you, how Fate of Destiny and how she's doing her videos, and how you can actually think of how she views life. Those are the things where you're going to have to take that knowledge and bring it to your spouse. You're going to have to bring it from her perspective, not your perspective, because a male perspective is not going to be important to a female perspective. So Kathy Jacobson, the cornered cat, is something that is going to be very prevalent. I would also recommend that you have your significant other enroll into a gun class. Now, if it's a female, there are female-only classes, and I really suggest that because, again, one of Fate of Destiny's videos is that when she goes to a gun range and guys are trying to pick her up, where she's trying to concentrate on on what she's doing. I'm not afraid of guys picking up my wife. You should see a video. You look at me and you think, oh boy, look at that. You look at my wife, you just go, ugh. She knows how to deal with guys. She's my ex-bartender from a long time ago. So she knows how to deal with men very well. She used to serve me my beer a long time ago. So that is interesting. So having a woman go into a women's only class is going to be giving you head over heels a lot of things. I would probably suggest not going somewhere and teaching your wife or a significant other how to shoot. I think that's the worst thing that you could do in your life, just because there's so many dynamics in that. And after that, how do you cultivate it a little bit is actually going to a gun range. Not at the peak, the absolute peak. I was at a gun range a couple of days ago, and everything was full. And I was actually trying out a couple of guns that I will be talking about some other time. I was trying out the Beretta Nano, and also the Beretta Storm subcompact chambered in 9mm. Those 2 particular guns aren't available in California through an FFL, but they are legal here, and I will tell you if I bought them or not. And then I got this free hat. The reason I was saying that is because when I was at the range, I had my little 9mm Nano. Ping, 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 ping. And this guy had this 308. Ba-boom! Ba-boom! And the percussion, the noise that would just, you can feel it coming into your ear. You're doing this and you go boom, and you just feel this noise wave just reverberate through your skull and make your eyes just go blah, 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 blah. And it's just like, dude, come on. Don't take your wife during that time, because if she's there and she hears that and she feels it, she's not going to want to have anything to do with it. So take her to off time, give her a smaller caliber, maybe a rental. 22 is a perfect gun. What is that? That Ruger. I forget that little Ruger 22. You know, rent something out like that. I think that would be a great little thing to do, and then you can go from there. The other thing is keep the gun-related topics available. If something comes up in the newspaper, discuss it. So just by osmosis, about you getting interested and then actually seeing the gun a little bit more, having newspaper articles about guns and the protection, especially from a female point of view. And I'd also have you actually read The Cornered Cat. It's an interesting read. Some parts are difficult to get to just because my neurochemicals in my brain is a little bit different than my than any female. So just go from there. So when it comes to telling your family about CCW, I think it is the worst thing in the world, especially coming from families that do not have that that kind of a mindset. Again, and if it is that you want to boastfully say that I have a CCW, you really need to be a little bit more introspective in your own malehood and really determining why it's so important for you to know that others know that you have a CCW. And then go over those 4 things that I told you about, incorporating it into your significant other's life with the book, the Women's Only program, taking her to the gun range and not teaching her at off-peak times, and also gun-related topics, that kind of thing. So I hope that answered the questions, and I hope to help. My name is Caden. This is Castle Tutelage, your home defense network. Bye-bye.